Okay, so that's the end of the configuration. It's just a matter of logging out, so let's get rid of this tab. Shut that down and log out. Unmount all file systems. Unmount LFS itself. We might be sitting in it here. No, we're not. Okay, I think, yeah, this doesn't always work for me. I think there's normally another file system. Oh yes, of course, the firmware was still there, wasn't there? So that's why that failed. Okay, actually one thing I should have done is this part here about getting started after LFS. Could be quite useful. Let's do that before we reboot. So let's remount dev NVMe. I'm not going to go into the root or anything here. I'll just do it in the host system. So p3 at LFS cd LFS cd root. So I'm in the root's home directory, and I'll create this script here to mount the virtual partitions. Why didn't that copy? Oh, of course, because it went to the root of the host system. So let's move that and put it into the new system. And obviously we won't be able to run this, but we'll be able to access it by mounting this partition, and that will load the virtual file systems. Now it's then got this line here, which should be on one line. That's worth noting. So I'll put that into an alias as well, into a file as well. So let's call this the LFS alias. Call it actually truth. Text. So I'll paste that into there. As I say, this should be on two lines, so what I'll have to do is press capital J there to join that on. But we're missing the extra environment variables we've set up, so if we want them, we'll have to look for the truth command we used, which is there, and copy them as well. So that'll be make flags, test suite, C flags, and ninja jobs. So we need to copy all of that. And add that in to here. In fact, I don't know why they haven't done this split over several levels. There must be a good reason of it for it. So let's do that here. let's use, oh no, this is a proper vi, isn't it? Let's put that there. Oh no, it isn't. Oh yes, it's because I'm in the, yeah, let's use this vi as a bit, needs setting up, it's a bit funny, so let's use nano, a bit easier. Let's put a space in there. Right, so if I paste in those variables, we can format them now. I think this will work, but I won't know till I try. Don't see why it wouldn't. Let's put that like that. You can see they're identical then. Okay, that should be it. So I'll save that. So if I now cat that to screen, copy and paste that. That seems to be all right. If I try the the mount vert, so let's do bash mount vert, that's worked. And now if I type LFS, that's worked as well. So I can see my sources. Let's look at the environment variables. I can see the C. Oh right, C. Oh right, I can't have that space in there then. So I need to remove that. So let's come out of the truth. Edit this again. Let's put the space here. Save that. Just paste that into the terminal. Type LFS now. So can I still see my sources? Yes. Let's check the variables again. So I can see C flags, CXX flags is there. The language is correct. Make flags, ninja jobs, and what's the other one? Test suite flags. So that looks all good. So it's a quick way of getting into the truth. So now I'm going to go into LFS sources, create a BLFS directory, and download a few of the useful programs that they suggest here to get going with BLFS. In fact, I could build these here ready for that, but I'll do that another time. So let's find, yeah, this takes us to BLFS. So open SSH. That's okay. And what else we've got? libtasn. load each one of these up. GPM would be useful, as links would. That's my preferred links, this one here. You could use the other one if you wanted to. So let's get each one of these. So libpsl, was that not there? No, okay. Right, so let's fetch all that lot. Okay, so that should be it. Just got to come out of here, unmount everything that is Linux from scratch. And do a reboot. Now what I'll have to do is either unplug the SD card to prevent it booting from that, but what I'm going to do is just press the spacebar again to interrupt the boot process. Just keep flicking it till it comes up. There it is, and I'm going to directly boot to the NVMe by pressing 6 and hope for the best. And there we go, we're booting. There's those 4 raspberries I said about. There's the font that's been changed, and it looks like we've booted successfully. Just a few kernel messages that have popped up. So let's log in with the root and the password we set, and I'm in. Let's check the kernel details. So there it is there, 6.12. Oh, okay, I can't point with that one. Let's try this mouse here. 6.12.78. Let's have a look at the LS CPU. So you can see we're on the ARM Cortex A76. Maximum 2.4 gigahertz, currently running at 1.5. There's all the details. You can see there's 3 security issues here, but they're mitigated against, and that's probably because we've used the Raspberry Pi kernel, built that, so we didn't have to set anything. It was already configured for us. So let's now see if we can get out onto the network. I'm going to ping the gateway, or Well, that's working, so that's good. Let's try the name server. That's active. So I'm going to ping my name server directly. That's good. Now let's go outside into the big wide world. And that's working as well, so that's good. Let's have a look at df-h. So you can see that our system is 5.5 gigabytes in size, and we've got 215 gigabytes left, bearing in mind that that includes all of the extracted Linux sources, so that's probably about a gigabyte or more, plus all the tarballs for the source of the system. So yeah, that looks all good. So a quick look at top. So you can see we've got the 4 CPUs there. There's stuff running in the background quietly. So that looks all very successful. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful and interesting. Please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, drop me a message. I'd appreciate to hear from you. And that's it. Thanks very much. Goodbye.